This is the Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation. Sa Bagong Pilipinas.
This is 13 News.
Let's get into the headlines right now. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. says his Sauna's speech now almost done to focus on government's response to various challenges.
China Coast Guard strikes again, firing water cannons near Philippine vessels at Bajo de Masinloc.
Tonight, Quiapo intensifies into a severe tropical storm. Find out what the weather will be like this weekend and on the day of the sauna.
Romualdez' camp says he's ready to face complaint after the ombudsman files supplemental complaint affidavit.
And IBC 13 and Congress TV now all set for the live coverage of Sauna 2026.
All these and more here on 13 News.
We begin tonight's newscast with a Chinese Coast Guard vessel striking again, using water cannons against Philippine ships near Bajo de Masinloc during a humanitarian mission for Filipino fisherfolk.
The Philippine Coast Guard condemned the incident as dangerous and rejected China's claims, maintaining the Philippines was operating within its own waters. IBC News correspondent Bea Peniza has the full details.
China Coast Guard vessels use water cannons anew against Philippine ships operating near Bajo de Masinloc this Friday morning. According to the Philippine Coast Guard, the BRP Cape San Agustin was on a humanitarian mission to deliver fuel subsidies to Filipino fisherfolk under the kadiwa ng Bagong Bayaning Mangingisda program when it was targeted by the water cannon operations. The BRP Dato Paduhinog, which was conducting a regular monitoring, control and surveillance mission, was also hit. The Coast Guard reported the presence of nearly 12 China Coast Guard vessels and 3 Chinese maritime militia ships in the area. The PCG has condemned the incident, describing China's action as unprofessional and dangerous. Several Chinese media outlets and officials claim that Philippine vessels are ones conducting illegal activities. But this was slammed by Rear Admiral J. Tariela, saying Bajo de Masinloc is part of the Philippines and that no amount of water cannons can wash away such truth. Meanwhile, Tariela also called out politicians who describe as chinadors or pro-China. In an interview on 13 Mornings, Tariela said the public already knows who these politicians are.
Even without me calling out specifically sino tong tinatawag nila sa social media na chinador, alam na nating lahat ito. Kilala nating lahat kung sino ang politiko na maka-China.
As China continues its action in the West Philippine Sea and alleged disinformation campaigns against the Philippines, the PCG maintained that Filipinos are not playing the victim. Responding to critics who accuse him of twisting facts, Tariela turned the argument back on China.
Alam mo, para sa akin, ang Chinese Embassy, kailangan nila na matinding tumbling para matwist ang facts natin. Anything that I posted sa social media, para sa akin, alam nating lahat to bilang Pilipino, totoo lahat to.
Bea Peniza, IBC News.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has spoken directly with U.S. President Donald Trump via phone call, amid fresh security challenges in the West Philippine Sea. The two leaders discussed economic and security issues, with Manila pressing Washington to raise Philippine concerns with China's President Xi Jinping. This comes after recent incidents at Ayungin Shoal were brought to the table. IBC correspondent Jinky Baticados has the details on the two leaders' conversation.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and U.S. President Donald Trump spoke directly amid new security challenges in the South China Sea and continuing shifts in the global economic and security landscape. During their phone conversation on Thursday, the two leaders discussed current economic and security issues, including the latest developments in the South China Sea. The phone call between Presidents Marcos and Trump came after the Philippine leader met with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio at Malacanang on Wednesday, where President Marcos briefed the top U.S. diplomat on recent incidents in the South China Sea. President Marcos had earlier summoned the Chinese ambassador to the Philippines to Malacanang. While the palace did not provide details of the meeting, it said the talks produced a positive outcome.
But we are always be in good faith. We should always act in good faith. Mahirap makipag-deal kapag ang kausap mo, iniisip mo agad magsisinungaling.
According to the palace, President Marcos also emphasized his desire for a reset in Philippines-China relations and sought assurances that the incident at Ayungin Shoal, which resulted in injuries to Filipino soldiers, would not happen again. According to Communications Secretary Dave Gomez, President Trump assured President Marcos Jr. that he would raise the Philippines' concerns during his next meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Malacanang has yet to release additional details about the rest of the two leaders' conversation, and no date has been announced for a possible meeting between President Trump and President Xi. But the U.S. President assured President Marcos that he would personally bring the Philippines' concerns directly to the Chinese leader. Amid challenges in the South China Sea, the leaders of the Philippines and the United States continue to maintain direct communication. The recent conversation between President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and U.S. President Donald Trump provided an opportunity for Manila to advance the Philippines' national interest and raise its concerns on issues affecting regional security and stability. From the United States, Jinky Baticados, IBC News.
Days before President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s State of the Nation address, preparations are now in their final stage. Government officials are also setting expectations on the key issues the president is expecting to discuss in his annual address. Tight security measures are now in set at the House of Representatives, while the Philippine National Police and the Quezon City government are implementing heightened security and public safety protocols for the event. IBC News correspondent Earl Tobias has more.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is finalizing his speech for his fifth State of the Nation address. He said all major issues will be tackled. Will this include the flood control project anomalies? For Senate President Win Gatchalian, he expects President Marcos to highlight the economy and reforms to prevent past corruption.
Maraming nang nakulong, maraming nang kasuhan, pero importante wag na maulit itong flood control. Parang naging tradisyon na sa mga zona talumpati ng ating Pangulo, yung mga earth-shaking statements. Kung matatandaan natin, diba, yung Pogo, yung unang-una na yun. Then pangalawa, yung mahiya naman kayo.
For House Speaker Boji D, he said the House is prepared to receive new directives from the executive branch.
Ang kanilang agarang feedback at pagsusumite ng executive versions ng mga panukalang batas ay malaking tulong upang mapabilis po ang proseso ng pagsasabatas ng mga ito at matiyak ng iisa ang direksyon ng buong pamahalaan.
Right now, tight security is observed inside the House of Representatives. Access within has also been strictly limited. The main building, which houses the plenary hall where the president's sona will be delivered, has been closed to the general public. Only individuals with verified identification are being allowed entry. In terms of security, the Philippine National Police assured that it's almost 100% done.
Nasa final phase, all systems go. Of course, we will be doing some adjustment.
3 groups have been issued permits to conduct their rally in QC. Meanwhile, the Quezon City LGU will also strictly enforce a liquor ban on Sona Day from 12:01 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sale, distribution, and consumption of alcoholic beverages during these hours are strictly prohibited. Earl Tobias, IBC News.
IBC 13 and Congress TV are all set for the live coverage of the President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. State of the Nation address on Monday. News and technical teams ensure that every aspect of the broadcast is ready inside and outside of the House of Representatives. Cameras, audio equipment, lighting, and video systems have already been checked and tested. An outside broadcast bus or OB bus is now stationed at the Batasang Pambansa to support the entire live coverage. IBC President Jimmy Policarpio assures that the station is focused on every detail to deliver reliable reports during SONA. The IBC and Congress TV's SONA live broadcast begins Monday at 9 a.m.
Kakaasa po kayo na ating pong mga ipalalabas sa ating mga interview ay tunay na makaka-share ng kanilang karunungan, kanilang nakikita na kung ano pa ang dapat talahakin ng ating Pangulo at yung mga ekonomista natin pa i-interview para makita nila kung ano na nagawa ng Pangulo at ano pang pwedeng gawin para sa kaunlad ng ating bansa.
Let's now find out what the weather will be like this coming weekend and on the day of the SONA. According to Pag-asa, severe tropical storm Quiapo will continue to bring rains over northern Luzon. Tonight, Quiapo is moving away from the Babuyan Islands. It was last located over the coastal waters of Cagayan. Signal number 2 is hoisted over Batanes, northern portion of Cagayan, northern portion of Apayao, and northern portion of Ilocos Norte. Expect heavy to intense rains. Flash floods or landslides are also possible, so residents are advised to remain vigilant. Meanwhile, some 14 areas are placed under signal number 1, including the rest of mainland Cagayan, Isabela, Quirino, and Nueva Vizcaya. Based on the forecast of Pag-asa, Quiapo is expected to continue to move northwestward over the Philippine Sea. It might exit the Philippine area of responsibility this late evening or tomorrow early morning. Meanwhile, on the day of the State of the Nation address of the President, it will be cloudy with isolated rains. Pag-asa says the southwest monsoon will prevail, bringing cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Here in Metro Manila, as well as in Zambales, Bataan, Pangasinan, Pampanga, Bulacan, Cavite, Batangas, Occidental Mindoro, and Palawan. Meanwhile, government agencies are stepping up their disaster response operations as severe tropical storm Quiapo continues to threaten several parts of the Philippines. The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, remains on heightened alert status in northeastern Luzon as Quiapo moves closer to land. In Sarangani, around 60 families, or about 240 individuals, were evacuated to safer areas after rising floodwaters in the community. In Guimaras and Antique, PCG rescued 3 stranded families, or 20 individuals, after heavy rains cut off their evacuation route. PCG is also helping coastal communities in Cagayan and Isabela secure fishing boats and other watercraft, while continuing to coordinate with local government units and disaster response agencies for possible emergencies. Here in Metro Manila, flood control projects are beginning to yield results. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says investing in completed flood control projects helps Metro Manila become flood-free despite heavy rains.
Oil and gasoline prices are set to climb again next week as tensions in the Middle East and Russia puts pressure on tightening global oil supply. Local oil industry sources say that diesel prices are expected to jump between 6 pesos to 6 pesos and 50 centavos per liter, while gasoline prices are estimated to go up by around 5 pesos and 50 centavos to 6 pesos per liter. These estimates are based on the 4-day trading of mean of Platts Singapore, the pricing basis of refined goods in Southeast Asia. The renewed military strikes and a reciprocal blockade of the Strait of Hormuz by the U.S. and Iran have raised fresh supply concerns. Fuel oil tankers flows were only beginning to recover before hostilities flared again. Coming up next, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. unveils major initiatives in Pampanga to boost healthcare, digitalization, and food security. Stay tuned. This is 30 News.
Department of Agriculture ang kanilang mga programa para mapanatiling abot kaya ang agri-products.
Target rekomenda ng ilang senador na tanggalin ang excise tax sa diesel.
Ngayon tumitindi ang init ng panahon ay lumalaki ang konsumo sa kuryente ng ilan sa ating mga kababayan.
Sa mga substandard na flood control projects sa kanilang barangay.
Nagkakagulo sa Senado dahil
sa na-uplift committee ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
para mabawasan.
The camp of former House Speaker Martin Romualdez says he is ready to face the complaint filed against him over the alleged flood control project anomaly. The statement came after the Office of the Ombudsman's Special Panel of Investigation filed a supplemental complaint affidavit against Romualdez, former Congressman Zaldico, and 10 other individuals who will be summoned for preliminary investigation. The Ombudsman said its investigation found sufficient basis to proceed with the preliminary investigation and identified Romualdez as a central figure in the alleged reallocation of funds for flood control projects. In response, Romualdez's spokesperson, attorney Elaine Atienza, said the congressman has long been prepared to answer any complaint, while urging the public to let due process take its course and allow the evidence to determine the outcome.
The word war between Senator Ping Lacson and Senate Minority Leader Alan Peter Cayetano continues as Lacson raises questions over alleged ghost flood control projects in Taguig City and the 2019 SEA Games issues. Lacson said the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee may forward its findings on the alleged Taguig ghost infrastructure projects directly to the Office of the Ombudsman to speed up any preliminary investigation. The senator further alleged that their investigation has identified more individuals who may have acted as alleged bagmen, while stressing that the issue is about accountability and not a personal feud.
Kung series of acts, tapos at least 50 million, wala nang pupuntahan yun, kundi plunder. Na-prioritize lang, dahil ang ingay-ingay niya.
Okay.
Pag nag-iingay ka, mapapansin ka Pag nambato ka, kailangan malinis ka.
Ayun.
Kasi kung meron kang dumi, huwag kang mambabato ng putik kasi babalik sa'yo yun
Meanwhile, Philippine Southeast Asian Games Organizing Committee or PHISGOC maintained that the 2.8 billion pesos released for the 2019 Southeast Asian Games has been fully liquidated. PHISGOC said the documents were completed, submitted, and reviewed years ago, while the Philippine Sports Commission said the liquidation was finished as early as March 2022 despite pandemic-related delays. Following the recent development, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano responded to the allegations in a Facebook Live, saying he is ready to answer any specific accusations while calling for a thorough investigation.
Tapos yung SEA Games daw, iniimbestigahan nila. Tapos ang Taguig daw, iimbestigahan. So, I continue to wait kung ano yung specific allegation and haharapin ko yan. But of course, yun nga, ang pakiusap ko, hindi tama na mag-single out at mas mabuti lahat ito.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. inaugurated a new specialty hospital in Pampanga that aimed to provide free specialized medical services to patients in northern and central Luzon. The government is also advancing its digital transformation and food security initiatives during his visit to Pampanga. Let us hear the full report from IBC News correspondent Harley Valbuena.
Many Filipinos still lack access to quality health care. As of 2020, only half can reach primary care within 30 minutes. To address this, the government is expediting the construction of specialty hospitals across the regions. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos personally led the inauguration of the Department of Health's Jose B. Lingad Children's Medical Center at Clark Freeport Zone in Pampanga. The facility features an integrated operating room, specialized outpatient consultation areas, radiology, and other modern services. It offers free and quality health care, especially for children in regions 1, 2, 3, and nearby provinces.
Parents seeking specialized treatment for their children will no longer have to make difficult trips to Metro Manila, sometimes even having to go abroad. They will be spared the financial and emotional toll of a long journey of lost income and time away from home, all while caring for a sick child.
The President also assured that the zero balance billing program will continue, while expanded PhilHealth coverage for children now includes the newborn care package. In addition, 34 patient transport vehicles were distributed to governors in regions 1, 2, 3, and the Cordillera.
We have now completed 100% distribution of PTVs to every province, to every city, to every municipality in the Philippines.
The President also visited the Converge Data Center in Angeles City, which will serve as a sovereign data facility for government agencies to enhance digitalization of transactions and processes. He later inspected the Pampanga Food Security Complex in Lubao, designed for rice and palay, aimed at lowering post-harvest loss to ensure enough food supply amid the energy emergency and looming El Nino. Harley Valbuena, IBC News.
Ahead of the fifth State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the Philippines has reached upper middle income status. Industry leaders said this milestone proves that our economy is getting stronger. But the challenge now is sustaining it and keeping the country on track. The full report from Ezra Abad.
It won't be easy, but the Philippines can do it. This was the statement of industrial policy expert and Federation of Philippine Industries Chair Elizabeth Lee on the country's rise to upper middle income status. This milestone, she said, proves that the economy is stronger, more jobs have been created, and local industries are more resilient, especially now that the Philippines has been recognized by the World Bank at par with several ASEAN nations.
We are already in the category of where Malaysia is, where Vietnam is, etc. So that's good for us. However, that also raises the global stakes because we need to be able to hold on to that UMIC status. So that means when you raise the global stakes, that means we need to back it up.
Lee emphasized the need to sustain this status through lower tariffs for exporters, aggressive industrial scaling, upskilling, and stable investment policies. Swift execution of reforms are needed to ensure the Philippines maintain its upward industrial trajectory.
We really have to bite the bullet. A forecast is still good. It would be good if the government still do something about corruption because we already have our new budget and that the budget will actually be spent on infrastructure, which the government is actually looking into. And that is things that would be very good for the economy as a whole.
Amid this, the United States has pledged $2.5 billion to enhance security and cooperation in ASEAN. U.S. announced the investment will support infrastructure, advanced technology, energy security, and efforts against transnational crime.
We want to work with ASEAN as ASEAN develops its digital economy, as ASEAN continues to bolster its energy security, and address any other regional challenges in the region.
Ezra Abad, IBC News.
Despite a tough loss to Cambodia, the Alas Pilipinas men are back in action in Leg 2 of the 2026 CV Cup, this time facing host nation Indonesia. The two teams are currently locked in an intense match at the Jakarta International Velodrome, with the Philippines holding a 19-17 lead in the third set. The winner of the match will advance to the semifinals.
It has been a big week for film fans as new trailers and first looks continue to drop. The first trailer for Avatar 7 Havens has been released. The animated series follows the next Avatar after Korra in a post-apocalyptic world where the Avatar is believed to be humanity's destroyer. The series premieres on Paramount Plus on October 9. Disney also released the first teaser for the third season of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. The new season premieres on Disney Plus on November 20. Meanwhile, the first official trailer for Resident Evil has been released. The film adaptation of the iconic video game franchise is directed by Zach Kreger, best known for his horror movie films Barbarian and Weapons. It arrives in theaters on September 18. A rare tornado swept through China, lifting a vehicle into the air. Meanwhile, U.S. lawmakers have proposed a bill requiring advanced AI systems to have a kill switch. CJ Reyes has more of these international developments.
This footage captures the moment a tornado hurled a car into the air in Zhejiang province, China, as powerful winds swept through the area. The incident forced other motorists to come to a complete stop. The tornado occurred as Typhoon Bobby continued to batter China's east coast, causing the evacuation of more than 2 million residents. Meanwhile, in the United States, lawmakers have introduced legislation that would require AI models to include a kill switch. The proposal comes after 2 OpenAI models autonomously gained unauthorized access to an AI-powered startup company during a controlled safety test. Officials named it the AI Kill Switch Act to keep AI from causing catastrophic harm. Another lawmaker said AI is going to keep advancing, hence humans should control it. The bill would apply to AI companies generating at least $500 million in annual revenue. Meanwhile, in Australia, a 34-year-old woman has given birth to identical quadruplets believed to be the first recorded case in the country. The babies were delivered via C-section at the 28-week mark. The pregnancy occurred after a single fertilized egg split into 4 embryos, with all 4 babies sharing the same placenta. Medical experts say the pregnancy was extremely rare, with the numbers going at 1 in 15 million. CJ Reyes, IBC News.
And before we wrap up tonight's newscast, we bring you the results of the PCSO's 9 p.m. lottery draws. For the Mega Lotto 645, the winning numbers are 14, 20, 19, 31, 2, and 11, with a jackpot price of 20,899,725 pesos and 81 centavos. For the Ultra Lotto 658, the winning combination is 47, 54, 26, 10, 5, and 36, with a jackpot price of 153,993,280 pesos and 14 centavos. For the 4D Lotto, the winning combination in exact order is 7, 5, 6, and 7. For the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 1, 2, and 9. And finally, for the 2D Lotto draw, the winning numbers are 29 and 27. There is one winner for the Mega Lotto 645 and no winner for the Ultra Lotto 658.
Tomorrow, workers can expect higher pay as the wage hike officially takes effect. Metro Manila workers will begin receiving higher daily wages as the first tranche of the National Capital Region's 85 peso minimum wage increase takes effect tomorrow.
The initial 60 peso adjustment raises the daily minimum wage to 755 pesos for non-agriculture workers and 718 pesos for workers in agriculture, retail, service, and manufacturing establishments. The remaining 25 peso increase is scheduled to take effect in January 2027. And those were the latest from the IBC Newsroom this evening.
We'll continue to monitor the stories that matter and give you updates as they develop. I'm Angela C.
And I am William Thio. This is 30 News. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend, everyone.